To be like one long video or a couple of short ones.
All right.
I gotta get in and out, but
how brakes work. Dear Lily.
Okay, this is the piston. This is what actually makes your brakes work. When I go in and step on the brake pedal, this is gonna come out, the brake fluid.
And that's the piece that you said when you first put the brake pad on, you have to make it go into place, or you don't have brakes.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
Is that the piece you were mentioning?
Yes.
That needs to like be pushed out or something?
Yeah, well, you need to step. Okay, we'll get to that.
Okay.
So, I'm going to go step on the brake pedal.
All right.
And you see that move out a little bit.
Okay.
You see it move?
No?
Okay, wait a minute.
I didn't see it move.
Just want to take a look, see here.
I heard a noise, but I didn't see
Okay,
anything
well,
move.
let me do that again. It's not going to move a lot. It's
just, okay.
Maybe like an eighth of an inch. I don't know.
Is that it?
Yeah, that was sort of like one pump of the brake pedal.
That's the whole thing? That's how
no,
it brakes?
no, I'll tell you what. That's, yeah, but, okay.
That's hardly anything. And that stops the car.
Well, okay, but it does that with like 1,000 pounds of force.
Oh.
When you...
Okay.
Let me go. When you go to put the new pads in, that'll come out about yay far.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, let me just...
And that's the brake pad. That's the new one. Oh, it goes down there. Oh, I'm really confused then. I thought it was...
Wow.
Oh, you pushed that down then. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the way it actually...
Oh.
And now this is the caliper. This is
Okay.
sort of what makes it work. But as that piston pushes out that way,
Yeah.
it also pulls this thing is on a little sliders that it moves. So once that contacts that piston, the brake pad, the inner brake pad, and it starts pushing on that, it'll also pull this way, and that hits this pad. That's the brake pad right there, and that's what gives you your squeezing action.
Okay.
Gee, now you probably won't be able to see this, but let me yeah, I doubt it. Well, you might be able to see it. It probably won't film well, but there's a gap right there if you look in there.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm gonna...
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I see it. All right, I get it. I saw it.
Yeah, no, I don't know if that'll actually film real well, but...
It at least showed it closing in, right?
Yeah.
It's closing in.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but that's actually came out a little bit. I like I say, it comes out a lot further, but I don't want to pump it out a lot further because, well... But anyway,
So
eventually that'll...
This is new and this is an old one?
Yeah, that's the new one and this is the old one.
Okay.
Here, you can take a look at this. Okay, all this right in here is the brake pad material.
Okay.
This is
That's
what
the
wears.
wearable.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the stuff that wears, and this is what actually...
This is a new one we're looking at,
Yes.
right? Okay. And that's the thing that made the noise?
Well, actually, this thing here,
Oh,
it's
that
a little
thing.
squealer thing. So when the brake pad wears down... Now, not all cars have these. Hers may not have these. Some cars don't have these.
Okay.
Really?
Really?
Yes. Okay. Well, and here's an old brake pad. You can see the material on it is so much thinner. It's worn down.
Right.
What the brake pads do is they squeeze the rotor here. You should...
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
Okay.
The brake pads squeeze on this rotor, this round disc here that moves. You know, the wheel gets bolted on here, and that's turning as you're driving along.
Okay.
And then when you step on the brake pedal, like I said, the piston moves in the caliper just a little bit, and these brake pads squeeze in on that steel disc rotor.
That disc. Okay.
And that's what actually stops the car.
Okay. And what part was the noise that this clip? What was that hitting?
Okay, that was actually rubbing. That actually rubs on.
Rubbed against that, and that's why it was making that squealing, squeaky noise.
Yeah, and there's actually what I want to say, no return spring on this. They just sort of gently, like when your foot's off the brake and you're driving down the road, they just very gently sit there with like virtually no clearance.
Okay.
They're just like lightly rubbing. It's when you step on the brake that it starts pressing on those.
Okay.
And making you stop.
Oh. Well, there we go. So tell her and me again why, even though my brake pads were making that noise, I was still able to stop. Like that you won't, like even though if it's making the noise, you're not going to lose your brakes.
Right.
So because you have that hard piece, this piece?
Yeah,
why?
Yeah, if worse came to worse and you wore away the brake pad.
The pad.
Yeah, okay, the brake pad material, you can wear that completely away, but it's mounted on a steel backing plate, I guess you could call it. So even if you wore all your brake pad material away, it would still clamp. Now that would be bad. You'd make metal
lots
on
of noise.
metal. Yeah.
But you'd still stop if you had to emergency stop when this happened or whatever. If some reason
it would still stop.
Up.
It probably wouldn't stop quite as good because what I want to say, this pad material is sort of designed to grip. This is very smooth and slippery.
Right.
This material is designed to kind of try to grip that, whereas if you had an equally smooth and hard material, it probably wouldn't grip as good. It would still stop.
Okay. And you said this is the old one, right?
Yep.
And this is, where's the pad part? So this is still considered legal?
Yeah, that would actually.
It would pass, even though it's not nearly as thick as.
Yeah, that would probably just pass. Now, some people
hard to believe
maybe wouldn't pass it just because to avoid liability or customers pissing and moaning. You just inspected my car. I drove it 1,000 miles, and now the brakes are grinding. I mean,
right. But hard to believe that would pass when there's not much at all left of it. So there you go, Lily. I thought when you say brake pads, I was thinking they're rubber, not that they're like this, whatever this material is.
Well, I mean that is a lot softer than say steel.
Yeah, I mean it's harder than I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean
which is good.
You can go and scratch and dig at it, or if you took sandpaper to it, so it's a lot softer than steel.
Right.
Yeah, you can see I kind of scratched it up there pretty easily, but
yeah,
it's still fairly hard.
And this is the wheel then? Or what do they call this part?
This is the rotor that goes from
that's
here.
the rotor.
Yes.
That's the ones they're always trying to say you need new rotors. So how would I know that if I need new ones? They look...
Well, okay, if it wasn't nice and smooth, or there's a little tiny, you can barely feel it. There's a little tiny bit of a lip there.
Yeah.
If that lip was bigger, like this will wear, even though it's steel. It wears over time. You can kind of see where the pad doesn't hit the dark areas, like in here. Okay, that doesn't wear.
But that's the rotor part. When they're talking, you need new rotors. It's this disc here.
Yes.
That's why they're expensive.
Yeah, it's a big hunk of metal, and it's supposed to be precision machined. Anyway, they will wear over time. But now, if you let your pads totally go, so you're rubbing
on the steel.
Yeah, they say rubbing metal to metal. If this metal backing plate rubs on that, and you try stopping it, it's gonna wear it down. It's gonna scratch it all up.
Right.
And
neither of us would let it go like that, but. Yeah, that makes sense.
There is something, I forget what it is, something ridiculous too. You're not supposed to have grooves more than 20 thousandths of an inch deep.
Do they inspect Did they inspect these for car inspection?
Well, they're supposed to. Mainly, you're supposed to check to make sure. Excuse me. They aren't what they call undersize. Like there's a thickness to it, and there's a minimum thickness that you're supposed to have. If it gets to the minimum or below the minimum, you're supposed to replace them then.
Okay.
But I guarantee you.
But mine are in good shape, right?
Yeah.
For now, I don't need. If someone would tell me, if a garage would try and tell me I need them, I don't right now.
Right. Now the other reason you would want to replace these, if that surface isn't perfectly flat and smooth, or it wobbles a little bit as the wheel turns, when you hit your brakes, you'll probably feel a vibration
in the steering wheel.
Well, okay, the fronts will definitely make the steering wheel jiggle, or when you step on it. It depends how bad they are. It might just be a little shake in the steering wheel to you feel it through the whole car.
Okay. So, will the brake pads, if they're getting down there to not be passing, will they also make the steering column shift a little when you're braking?
No.
No, not at all. Because I get that, but sometimes, I don't know what it is. Okay, we're growling. Growling at the puppy, I guess. All right, good to know. I guess the lesson's over then, right?
Yeah.
That's it. This concludes our Auto Repair 101.